Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Rudy's Rant, Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball. We talk facts or feelings. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez Showmont. Thank everyone for jumping on the impromptu live this evening after the 83-77 loss to the Washington Mystics. Not surprised, as I said tonight, not surprised one bit. A lot of blame to go around in this with this team. You found out tonight, truly, that without Caitlin Clark, this offense does not function. You found out tonight that Stephanie White, the coach, did not have her team prepared to play tonight. They look like a team that doesn't have a clue. They look like a team that doesn't have a legitimate backup point guard. I actually give them credit for not getting absolutely smoked because if it wasn't for DeWanna Bonner and Natasha Howard, this team would have gotten blown out. DeWanna Bonner had 21 points. Natasha Howard had 11. Unfortunately, 10 of those 11 happened in the first half. She took 0 shots in the second half. Don't really understand why, but that's what happened. Aaliyah Boston, largely invisible. Why, you may ask? Because a lot of Aaliyah Boston's game is predicated on Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark creates for Aaliyah Boston. I said that in a video a couple days ago. Watch out for Aaliyah Boston's offense. It's probably going to drop. And I told you why. If you want, I will link that video in the description for you so you can take a look at it because this was not a surprise. I know what Aaliyah Boston's game is. It's not getting a post and thump the ball. It's pick and roll, pick and pop, run the floor, get things going towards the rim. You can try to post her up. She's not great at getting good post position typically. Not to get passes from players that are not named Caitlin Clark. And those players can't make pocket passes. They can't dump it up over the top. And they can't do what Caitlin Clark does. Caitlin Clark does a lot for Aaliyah Boston's game. So today she took 5 total shots. I blame Stephanie White. I also blame Aaliyah Boston. You can't just blame one and not blame the other. You can't sit here and say it's only Stephanie White's fault, but not say it's Aaliyah Boston's fault. Aaliyah Boston's the player. Aaliyah Boston has to demand the ball. Aaliyah Boston has to find a way to demand the ball. She has to be a force. She has to be a presence. Problem with Aaliyah Boston is that's not her personality. It's not her personality. Kelsey Mitchell, horrendous. 4 of 16. Need I say more? Completely inefficient. Sophie Cunningham, largely irrelevant today. Just wasn't a good day. But again, this team does not have a point guard. If Caitlin Clark can't play, they don't have a point guard. I have not watched the Stephanie White press conference post game, and I'm going to play it for you blindly and watch it with you. So let's bring this press conference up and we can see what Stephanie White had to say about this game because I am surely curious to know what's going on in her mind and what she had to say. And we will see if you agree with the gibberish that comes out of her mouth or not. We will see. But let's check this thing out.
I mean, certainly, Washington's a good team, and they've had the lead in the fourth quarter in almost every game that they've played. They play hard.
All right, I'm already going to stop. Oh, gosh. Washington's a good team. So the team that has 3 rookies is a better team than the team that has 4 All-Stars, not including Caitlin Clark. 1 guaranteed Hall of Famer, not including Caitlin Clark. That's what she starts off with. They're a good team. No, they're not. They're not. It's a team of rookies. They got 3 rookies in the rotation. 2 rookie starters. They're not supposed to beat you. Not if you have a serviceable point guard. Let's continue.
Oh, they're selfless. They move the ball. They cut hard. They play well together, and they kept coming at us. They kept coming at us, and at times we had breakdowns on the defensive end in our coverages. Their physicality, I felt like on their defensive end against us took us out of our flow, particularly in the second half.
obviously you guys need to adjust without Caitlin too. Just
Mhm.
is there anything you could pinpoint with the offensive issues today?
Yeah, I mean, certainly, not having any points in transition, is one that's obvious. I mean, Caitlin is really good at finding rim runners, getting the ball up the floor. That's one we got to be better there. You know,
Do you know how bad you got to be to not have one fast break bucket? You know how bad you've got to be offensively to have not one fast break bucket in a 40-minute game? That's embarrassing.
not relying so heavily on dribble handoffs and on ball screens. And I know we talked about this pregame, feeling comfortable getting to our off ball actions. I mean, that's still a growth process for us and a growth edge for us. You can see when physicality happens or defensive pressure picks up, it's like we revert to some old habits, settling for one-on-one, settling for jump shots, settling for dribble handoffs, instead of trusting the process of moving the ball and of playing in some off ball actions. And, on nights that we don't hit shots and we struggled from the floor, and you got to give their defense a lot of credit. Um,
Oh God, this is nauseating, man. This is loser shit, bro. This is loser stuff. You got to give them credit, man. Does she have any accountability for anything here? We are a minute 24 into this interview. I want to hear if she's accountable for anything.
for that, they kept us uncomfortable. They kept pressuring us. We've got to be able to rely on our defense, and there were times where it was really good. Um,
Rely on your defense. Your defense has been fucking garbage for 4 games. You thought it would be good today?
and there are times where it was really good, and then we didn't finish the play, and we gave up an offensive rebound, or we were really good for 22 seconds and not in the last 2 seconds. But it takes being really good all the time, and it takes finishing plays.
Yeah, Aaliyah was 4 or 5 too, but she seemed to not get as many touches as she
Mhm.
usually did. Was that defense from the Mystics, kind of Caitlin not being out there as well, or just how can you get her more involved?
Yeah, I think probably a combination. Certainly she gets so many of her touches in the two-man game with Caitlin on the floor, and it looks different now without Caitlin on the floor. Making it a
Duh. It's your job to find another way to get her the ball in a position to score. It's your fucking job, Stephanie. It's your job to have a game plan to help her score. You had 3 days to figure that shit out. What was the plan of action? Did you have one?
point of contention to get her touches on the block as much as in the two-man. I thought they did a really good job of changing bodies every couple of minutes and being physical with her and forcing her to defend on the other end as well with their post players. And we've got to be better as coaches of trying to get her in positions to be successful.
You got to be better as coaches to find a way to get her in position to be successful. So what happened today? What happened today? At what point are you going to have accountability for what happened today? Tonight. Sorry. Where is that accountability? I don't hear it. I hear a lot of bullshit. I hear a lot of lip service.
Staff, when the players were here, they had this kind of attitude of, we're not going to use Caitlin's absence as an excuse for some of the breakdowns that happened on both ends of the floor. Is that the sense that you got to, or kind of what you tried to instill in them of the fact that these are issues that, regardless of whether or not she's on the floor, need to be cleaned up, or have been issues even when she was playing?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have a deep team for a reason. We added quality depth in the off season, and our ability to collectively step up and give a little bit more has to be there. Certainly, we're going to look different. With not just what Caitlin brings from a straight shot making standpoint, but facilitating standpoint as well. Pace, our pace was different without her on the floor. I mean, there are so many things that she does outside of the obvious for our team. But
What's out of the obvious? What is the obvious? Everything you just mentioned right now is the obvious. What's outside of the obvious? Because the obvious is pace, tempo, passing, her creating for Aaliyah Boston, her creating for the whole team, her scoring ability. What is outside of the obvious? I want to know what is in your mind that we haven't thought about already. I want to know because all the things you just mentioned, pace and tempo, that's clearly obvious to me, but maybe it's not to you.
And as I said before, it is an opportunity for us to grow. And the defensive miscues, the defensive breakdowns, the fouling, unnecessarily.
That shit's been going on all season. I don't want to hear it. That's been going on all season. That's not new. That didn't happen because Caitlin didn't play. You've been doing that all season. People have been complaining about the fouls being called against. No, you've been doing that shit all year. This is nothing new.
I felt like there were too many fouls at times where we were forcing Washington to hit tough shots, and we've got to live with them making tough shots. They're
They took 11 threes. What the fuck are you talking about? Tough shots. What? Layups? They had a lot of layups. Lot of layups.
pros, right? But what we don't want to do is compound that by fouling or breaking down when we get a good defensive stop and giving up, offensive rebound putbacks, taking bad shots that lead to runouts. I'd venture to say I can't remember how many fast break points they had, but I'll bet they got 4 to 5 layups just on our poor shot selection. Those things have to get better. And they have to get better every game. And I feel like we've been a little bit stagnant in our growth area in those.
How would you describe the impact of Sykes on both ends tonight?
I mean, Sykes is just a player. I mean, she's tough.
I want to stop her.
Um,
I'm going to stop this for a second. I want y'all to see something because she just said tough shots, right? I'm going to show you something. This is a shot chart from this game, from all quarters. I just want to show y'all the made shots by the Washington Mystics. I want to show you the made shots by the Indiana Fever. How many tough shots typically fall within 3 feet of the rim? Okay, because I'm gonna show this to you right now. Image file. I'm sorry, it's taking a minute because I want to bring this up because I want to completely discredit her right here because what she said is complete and utter fucking bullshit. All right. This is the shot selection by the Washington Mystics. Okay, the red. 1, 2, 3, 4 threes. Every shot they made was inside of 6 feet of the rim. Outside of these 4 threes and these 2 mid-range jump shots. Everything else is within 6 feet of the basket. Those aren't tough shots. Those are not tough shots. Heck, you can look at even Indiana. Almost all their buckets are inside the paint. Actually, they have more outside the paint, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 threes. One from, I don't know who the hell took this thing. 2 middies right here. 3 shots from outside the paint. And then a few inside the paint. I'm telling you right now, you're going to sit here and tell me they made them take tough shots? Literally, of all their baskets, 6 buckets. 6 buckets. 6 buckets of their 30 made shots came from outside the paint. They had 24 buckets inside of 6 to 8 feet of the rim. But she's going to tell you that they had tough shots. Boy, when the lying is exposed.
She's got a good feel for the game. She understands, when to attack, how to attack, the way she gets downhill. She's got a toughness about her on the defensive end of the floor. She's a really great leader for this young ball club, and they play like she plays, with that toughness, with that swag. And she's been a huge impact for them.
Coach, is there anything you think the WNBA, the league could do?
By the way, Brittany Sykes was 6 of 17. Please. If Brittany Sykes is the best player on your basketball team in the WNBA, you're a trash can team. Brittany Sykes is a decent basketball player. She's a role player. Brittany Sykes is a role player. She's a decent to above average player. She's not a star anywhere. anywhere.
Do to better protect the safety of stars like Caitlin and other players when it comes to some of the rough play, intentionally rough play in some cases? What are your thoughts on that?
And actually, let me just continue. Brittany Sykes this year is averaging 22.3 points per game because she's taking a truckload of shots. She's taking a lot of shots. I mean, she's averaging 22.3 points per game, shooting 35.4% from the field and 29.4% from three. Think about that for a second, people. 35.4% from the field and 29.4% from three. And she's averaging over 22 points a game. She is a volume shot chucker. She's a shot chucker. 17 shots. She had a game where she was 1 for 13 and still had 10 points. 1 for 13. 8 for 19, 8 for 13, 6 for 20. She just takes a lot of shots. But she'll have you believe that Brittany Sykes is some elite basketball player.
I don't know. I don't feel like there's any more intentionally rough play than there is in any basketball game, men's or women's, really. I obviously, I mean, obviously, I think we can get better in certain areas as far as how we call the game, consistency with how we call the game, protecting. We've been made a real point to protect airborne shooters on the perimeter. I don't think we do as good of a job at that near the rim. Are we going to say that we want a free flowing offensive game, or are we going to have tough grind out physical games? And whatever way it is, the players will adjust and coaches will adjust. But we can't have it be one way, one quarter, another way, another quarter. So, I don't think collectively as a whole, the league has to step in and do something. I just think that there has to be some improvements in certain areas.
What would be the main one, you think, if you could just pick one top?
Are you trying to get me fined again?
No.
Because I did just get fined.
Coach,
So she got fined off of that lame ass shit. That's what you're telling me. She got fined off that lame ass shit. If you're gonna get fined, earn the fine. Earn it. Go all in. Go all in. Say it with your chest. She's doing it soft again. Fucking ridiculous.
obviously Caitlin spends a lot of time before lots of games, signing autographs, things like that. Why was it important to her to, I think your social media team said it was 12 minutes. She was out there signing, the full length of the court. Why was that important to her on a day when she's, not playing? And, why did she feel the need to sort of, still make her presence?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to speak for Caitlin because I think everything, decision that she makes is personal to her. But Caitlin was that little girl that watched this league. These players that are playing in this league right now, most of them grew up dreaming of playing in the WNBA. They've only known the WNBA. And when you are that little girl who eventually gets to live out her dreams, you want to empower the next generation of players. You want to give that hope to the next little girl that's in the stands or little boy that's in the stands to accomplish their goals and their dreams. It might be sports, it might be something else. But the way that you approach being great, the way that you approach the work, the way that you approach things from a humility standpoint, all of that stuff matters. And when you've been someone who is living out your dream after sitting in the stands watching your heroes, you give back. And that's my assessment. I'm not speaking for Caitlin, but that's what I see in her.
What did you make of the atmosphere in Baltimore today?
Yeah, it was great. I thought the fans were great. I thought they were engaged. It was a great turnout. So it was really exciting.
So there you have it. That's Stephanie White. Stephanie White just gave you her comments. I don't know what y'all think of her comments, but I think her comments are all a bunch of garbage. They're soft ass crap. There's a bunch of excuses and nothing honest. There's nothing real about it. There's no self-evaluation. There's no accountability. It is, yeah, we gotta be a little bit better, but you're not answering why. Why did this happen? Please tell me why this happened in this game. You knew about this for 3 days. How did you not have a game plan created to get the ball to Aaliyah Boston in the post in some capacity so that she takes more than 5 goddamn shots? Aaliyah Boston's got to average 20 points a game with Caitlin Clark sitting on the bench. She's got to average 20. Kelsey Mitchell has to average 20. You got to get 40 from those two. This is ridiculous. You had 3 days to prepare, and you look like you didn't prepare for one fucking second. Oh, yeah, that's right. Y'all busy shooting fucking half-court shots today. Y'all busy doing dumb shit. Caitlin shooting jumpers from the corner. You're doing everything but what looks like need to be done to get prepared for a game when you've lost your best player, the player that makes your offense move, and all that stuff. And instead, you look like a JV high school team. And you sit here and say Washington's a good team. No, Washington is not a good team. In no world is Washington a good team. Washington will not make the playoffs. Washington is going to be on the outside looking in. Maybe they're a little bit better than we thought, but they're not a good team. So better than what? Better than a 14-win team? Maybe they're an 18-win team. That's a shit can. That's a trash can team. So I don't want to hear that they're a good team. And when she says shit like that, it is absolving herself of the accountability of what she failed to do. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. But anyhow, y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. I hope you like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell. Leave a comment, of course, once again. This is Rudy's Rant, Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball. Come on now.